You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Arrested Development After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Arrested Development After Show.
Hello, everybody. Bing is for doing, and we are doing Arrested Development. This is going to be episode number 11 with Job, called A New Attitude. My name is Nando Velasquez, and across from me, two lovely ladies.
I'm Cathy Kelley.
And I'm Roxy Striar.
And another lovely lady right next to me.
Hi, everyone. Alina, Akram.
All right, awesome. So let's get this going. This is Job's second episode, featured just by Job, and I love
Job episodes.
Oh God, they're my favorite episodes. They really are. This one's great, and this one also features a lot of his arch nemesis, Tony Wonder, played by Ben Stiller.
Did you say Wonder? Feature me pop up over there somewhere.
Absolutely, totally. So guys, let's we're just gonna wing this one. What do you guys think overall? What do you want to talk about at the top of the show or whatever?
Michael and Job fighting over a kind of famous-y person.
Yes.
Not Julie Bowen.
Not Julie Bowen.
Which I'm saying is the second Modern Family reference of this season.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm wondering what it is about Julie Bowen.
They made a clear point to say Julie Bowen like 6 times at the top of this episode, so that's not going under the radar. We're picking up on that, and something's happening.
It's got to be something.
So they're fighting over a kind of famous-y person, but it ends up that they're not fighting over the same person, which I thought all season long they were fighting over Rebel Alley.
Well, I was the one that was against. I was the one that was against it. But in all fairness, I thought he was talking about Mark Cherry. I thought when he was saying he was hanging out with someone famousy, I thought he meant he was hanging out with Mark Cherry.
But he said he was dating someone kind of famousy.
I didn't hear dating, and I never went back to listen to it. But the other 2 times when he said it, he said he was in a relationship with somebody.
And they never said guy or girl, which threw me off because I just always assumed that it was a girl.
So I was half right. I thought it was a guy, but I just thought it was Mark Cherry.
Yeah.
So we're all wrong, and that's why the show's amazing, because how often can you not actually predict what's going to happen on
But I'm a little more right in this one.
Okay, I'll give that to you. You had the gender correct.
Much bigger twist. Well, I did say the first episode that I thought it was a dude standing there, even though they called it Maria, which I still don't understand why they called it Maria.
We saw at the end of this episode, they showed that clip again. He says Maria at the very beginning, but I'm guessing maybe Maria's a maid or something. I don't know.
Goes over me. Weird, or maybe it's a sex offender that lives in the house, because Job has been selling the houses to sex offenders. Michael asked him to sell them. He said that they practically sell themselves. All you have to do is bring people in. So smart.
Back to your Maria point, that was the maid, just so you know. It was.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, we saw the maid, and he was like, Maria something like.
So it was Maria. So that was a reference to Maria, but it had nothing to do with whoever he was sleeping with.
We have to talk about how Tobias got him to fill the houses with sex offenders, and he had the best line. I have a list of men who could fill every opening you have. I was dying.
Not only that, but then Tobias starts choking on, what was that he was eating? Cheese?
I don't know.
Yeah, and then Job just
too much cheese and what did he eat? Ketchup, mustard.
They just started and Job just started loving it. Just start pouring all sorts of stuff in his mouth, which I love. Well, of course, the sex offender jokes were great, and the fact that he filled up Sudden Valley with all sex offenders, which is a brilliant business plan, but not if you're Michael and trying to make a good impression on everything.
Well, I mean, they sold him.
He sold him.
He got the job done.
Not every sex offender is Tobias. You've got some creeps in there.
Yeah.
So
well, we were joking. What if maybe sold all the houses and she'd be the most successful bloof? But it turns out that Job is the most successful bloof because he got to do the job.
Job and Tobias.
With Tobias's help.
Yes.
Absolutely. But let's get to some more Job's madcap stuff. I thought
we were on Steve Holt.
Oh yeah, I was gonna go back down to Job trying to convince somebody to. Well, obviously Job is plotting in this episode against Tony Wonder because at the last time we saw Job, he in the scenes from next episode we found out that somebody sabotaged his wedding magic illusion,
and he found the T.
Right, because if it was Jesus, it would have been a J, of course.
The cross, because if it was Jesus, it would have been a J.
No, it was a T for Tony.
A T for Tony. So this is all about Job's plot to get even with Tony Wonder. And since Tony Wonder recently came out as gay...
Well, he's putting on an illusion that he's gay to get more fans.
Yes, exactly.
But nobody else knows that. Job doesn't know that.
Yeah, we find out later on in the episode that he is not, in fact, gay. But Job wants to sabotage.
The gothic asshole. Gothic castle.
You just wanted to say that.
You're such an anus tart.
Yes, so the gothic castle as opposed to the gothic castle.
I thought we were going to see Tobias in the crowd somewhere like, oh, I thought I was just going to a magic show.
And then, of course, he calls Steve Holt, and it's Steve's birthday. That was so sad.
How do you think I feel for not getting a birthday card for the past 40 years?
Like,
poor Steve Holt.
So typical, him trying to just like dish out.
Where were you when you were a child? You never called me.
But you did say, I think it was you that said this, Roxy, when we were watching the episode, because it seemed like Steve was very resistant to going to the Gothic Castle.
Wait, I'm saving it for predictions.
We're saving for predictions. Okay, then we're going to save that one for predictions. That's all yours because you came up with it.
I wrote a P next to it.
Okay, well, that makes prediction. I love your filing system.
T for Tony Wonder, P for prediction.
So anyway, Job is trying to convince people to, as usual, be an accomplice to whatever madcap stuff he's doing, and he ends up convincing George Michael to come down on the premise that he has some information on his dad to try and work things out with George Michael. And what was a hilarious scene between Michael Cera and Will Arnett, with Job having this heart-to-heart conversation with George Michael while he's trying to get some information on his dad, and George is licking his hand and sucking
because he's trying to make him look like his boyfriend. Yes. While George Michael's just trying to apologize to his actual father and see why he's angry at him. Is it because Face Block is getting, or what is it called? Fake Block is getting so popular, and I haven't had time for him. Is that why he's mad at me?
Yeah, it probably is. They're making him out into some kind of Mark Zuckerberg character. That's for sure, with this whole Face Block thing. So, but just
Fake Block.
Fake Block. Excuse me. Thank you for that. I don't want to get copyright infringement on doing the wrong one. So, and then of course, Job gives him a big kiss, and he's going, "Fine, I'll never sleep with you again." And then he goes to the other guy, "Well, yeah, I will, but I won't." But yeah, I will. So, and he gets into the Magic Castle. His trick worked. His illusion of being gay.
Don't call me Uncle Job. Actually, that might work here.
Totally. So he gets to sabotage every single place that he thinks Tony Wonder might come out.
All of the cabinets and doors.
He tries to close every opening, pretty much. I don't know if that's kind of true, actually.
Yeah.
And then we get to see Tony Wonder's act, and I love how. I just love that the whole trick is like him escaping out of a closet, getting out of a closet.
I'm here, I'm queer, and now I'm in a chair.
Yeah.
It's like,
I love
ridiculous setup. I'm here, I'm queer, get used to it, but like how he's twisted it all.
Oh yeah.
And now you're all gay.
Yeah.
The best joke.
The most impressive trick was
with glitter and.
But the secret was
stuff.
They already started that way.
Yes.
I love that before he even came out of the closet, he was talking about how he was turned down, like how people put him down. Magic is only for straight men. And he used to say that.
His parents said, "Why can't you be more like your brother?"
So we get to see that. I love how magicians end up sharing secrets when Tony Wonder and
they looked like a bunch of 5-year-old girls. How they were like just whispering like each other.
I had a mask the whole time and a thing. Yeah, I just love it, just whispering. You hear the whole thing.
But learning about the mask thing, I was like, really? You would really fall for that?
Yeah.
Like, those masks looked alike, but they weren't clearly not a person.
It fooled me at first.
Those weren't masks. That was really Ben Stiller playing
That
both
was
characters.
really good.
Okay.
They did it well.
Just checking. So I just love how the masks keep coming in the rest of this episode.
Yeah.
So as stupid as it might seem to be part of a magic trick, they just keep using it over and over again.
And it's all playing up to the thing that we've been talking about, having twins or doubles, look-alike, mask that's you. This whole season we've had a million of those. So now we've got a new one. It's not just the double, it's the mask.
Yeah. And and I just got to do a shout out to, I love the Tony Wonder voicemail. I kind of want to have a voicemail just like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not here right now because I'm right behind you.
Did you look?
Did you look? I know you looked. How do you think I know? Because I'm right behind you. So
Did anyone ever?
and then of course
Did
Job
anyone
knows.
ever believe that?
Yeah, Job tries to play it off.
Tony Wonder, or Ben Stiller playing Tony Wonder, reminded me a lot of him playing Zoolander.
Yes.
Just the voices and everything. It was a total throwback to that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We've got a few
Exactly.
Blue Steel looks going on.
Yeah. With his W goatee cut out.
I just want
so
to
heinous.
scratch it off. I know.
So heinous.
Absolutely. And like I said, I love him. I'm so glad. We've just seen so little of Ben Stiller this season so far, just little bits and pieces. So.
Oh, I wanted to say I love that Job had Tobias's car, not even thinking about it, when he went to the Gothic castle because it's the anus tart car. And that
That's
just
what
helped
convinces Tony Wonder to believe that he's gay.
Just when Tony Wonder was starting to doubt if he was gay, he gets called for the car with the anus tart. He's like, "That's mine," and he's like, "Oh, okay, then you are."
Yes.
So I love that. That was awesome. Before we go on, we should talk about. We should do our usual little conversation here.
Our creators of AFTERBUZZ, Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro, have an amazing movie out. It's called The Adventures of Serial Buddies. It is a comedy, and it has a lot of famous-y people in it, from Henry Winkler to Beth Bayers, Maria Menounos.
Where can I find it, Cathy Kelley?
You can find it on iTunes, Roxy Striar.
And I will do that.
Yes.
And I have done that, like, over and over, because it's so freaking good, and I just keep watching it, so you should too.
Download it, rent it, do all of that over at iTunes.
And while you are on your computer, you can also go to our website, which is new and improved and amazing.
it got a facelift like Lucille Bluth.
Like Genki 4.
AFTERBUZZTV.com.
Do it.
Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, we'll go back to Tony Wonder and Job, because obviously the best stuff in this episode does feature them, but we also have a lot of really good stuff with the story about the wall still, about Lucille convincing Job and Job to help Michael out, but not to collude with him. So pretty much putting the brothers against each other. First of all, I love the scene where Job is in the limo with the megahorn trying to get Mexicans to build a wall to keep Mexicans out of Mexico or out of the U.S., which I thought was really, really awesome. This is like Job at his best.
Hilarious.
And what about the quick reference with, I forget Dr. Norman's girlfriend's name, but
China Garden.
China Garden, thank you. And she's like, Chinese make great walls. I'm Chinese. I know all the Chinese people. It's like this again with the racism. It's ridiculous, but great wall reference there.
Yeah. So.
Literally.
You're so punny.
Great wall reference, baby. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, so Job is still trying to work on building the wall, and Lucille wants to get him against Michael. So now we start seeing a little bit of what we saw the last episode, which is Job driving off to meet up with Tony Wonder in the little ballroom. And I love that whole Siri thing, too. I love that Siri calls him Gob, or Gob. Gob, that's how his name comes out with Siri. And find me the gayest little ballroom. Did you say grayest? Yeah, I love that whole interaction with
And he's like
Siri.
embarrassed about saying it again, so he's trying to mumble under his breath that he's really saying gayest, but like the last thing you could do is Siri is mumble. It's great.
I wonder
so
where the
embarrassed.
other ballroom was, the one that he was supposed to go to.
Well, there was 3 of them.
Oh.
Siri said there were 3 ballrooms, so he went to what he thought was the gayest one, and ends up just being a ball pit playground for
I'm sure they
kids.
took gay as in happy, and it was the happiest little ballroom there was.
Yeah, there you go. The happiest
Not
little
for
ballroom.
long.
Well, I think it's still happy. It's just a different kind of happy. Happy for us, because it was an
Yes.
awesome scene.
What I love there is that we see another wall reference where the 2 brothers literally knock down the wall.
They put each other against the wall.
Yeah, they put each other against the wall, and then they
down.
destroy the wall.
Yes.
I just love this knockdown fight. I love how it
the
even
safest
starts.
place to fight.
Well, you know, it's a testament to both those guys because I think they let it all out. That was a really aggressive fight, but it was so much fun. I want to get into a fight in a ball pit like that. That was awesome.
What did Job say at the end?
I'm not hurt at all.
Yeah.
What's that?
The Kanye West lyric, ball so, yeah, is it motherfucker find me? You know that?
No, I don't know that.
It's a song.
That's where Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not up on my Kanye.
It's funny.
Sorry about that. But,
no, ain't it, Dre? I don't know. It might be Dre.
But anyways, I love how the only person that actually gets hurt is Michael because the little redhead punches him.
And
not even punches him. He uses a crayon, like one of those big plastic crayons to
hit him in the eye.
Whack him in the eye.
And that actually answers the question from all the way back from episode 1 in Cinco de Cuatro when Michael was going after Lucille 2 to have sex with her and his face was all messed up. And also when he saw Job later that night, why his face was messed up because some little kid hit him with a crayon, with a plastic crayon in the eye
for messing up his birthday.
Yes.
Of all the predictions I could have made, that was definitely not one of them.
No, if you got that one, you would have gotten a major gold star for that one. Absolutely. So, but again, I just love that fight. I could see that fight over and over again.
Yes.
From the moment Michael walks in, it's like, where is she? And he's like, well, that's a weird way to call him, you know, and that whole thing. Just brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So anyway, we deal with all of that, and because Job went to the wrong little ballroom, bless you. Because Job went to the wrong little ballroom, he has to go to Tony Wonder to make it up. So I love all this stuff with Tony Wonder and him.
They're both faking that they're gay to exact revenge on each other. Tony wants to get something from Job's cell phone, while Job wants to sabotage his next act, Tony's next act. But then all the while, Tony is hooking up with Sally Sitwell.
Yes, he's in bed with Sally Sitwell, literally and figuratively.
And I love because they're actually married in real life.
Yes.
Stiller and the actress.
And Christine Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah, they're a great couple. And it was an awesome scene. And also we get to see her trying to shave his legs, which we need to mention because that comes into play.
She's never done before.
Yes.
Yeah. Is Sally a man?
I don't know, but apparently she has 2 secrets. According to Ron Howard's narration at the end of that scene between the 2 of them. So
well, I just think it's also a testament to the fact that they're both men are kind of turning a little like he likes a girl who has hairy legs clearly. So maybe there's a little more gay going on than they're giving themselves credit for.
That's possible.
And Job and Tony Wonder are starting to fall madly in love. I don't know.
Yeah,
well, it starts out as friendship, which they've never experienced before. So then they realize that they both have feelings for each other.
Yes. And this was probably my favorite reference of the episode was when she says it's Real House of Cards. And, of course, a Netflix comment right there.
Yes.
Plug. Stick it right in there.
Well, I love that too. I wonder if we're going to hear a Hemlock Grove in there somewhere. That might be a tough one to try and
then
get
we
in.
also have to mention that Sally stole $100,000 from Lucille too.
Right.
Absolutely.
From Lucille's campaign, which is something we would think that moral Sally Sitwell would never
This
ever
is a different
do.
kind of Sally Sitwell than we've seen before when she was in the regular series in season season 2, where we thought she was a lot more innocent and a lot more had more morals, but here she is right now being a little more conniving, and I think we kind of had a feeling that was where she was going to go from the pilot because we're wondering why she was with Lucille too.
So freaking incestuous though, because Sally used to date Michael.
Yeah.
And then now she's dating Tony, who's going to be dating Joe.
Or at least sleeping with him.
And
He's technically dating Joe.
Tried to hook up with
Michael Cera.
Anne and Michael Cera,
Yeah.
and then also tried to hook up with Lindsay at one point.
And Lindsay tried to hook up with Michael.
It's all crazy.
True.
It's all just confusing.
And we haven't even touched upon the Oscar, Lucille, George triangle.
Well, yeah, it's just crazy at this point.
It's worse than an episode of
Buster and
90210.
Lucille too.
We should find a way. We should find a way to do the rest of this segment all speaking at the same time and then just saying same at the end of it because that would be like same.
I do want to mention the one line that they said about Sally Sitwell having a caterpillar and a weird fuzzy moth in the drain.
Yes.
And I couldn't figure it out, and I'm kind of thinking it has to do with the alopecia, like how her dad used to like lose his eyebrows, and they would say it looks like a fuzzy caterpillar or something like that. But I don't know what it's referencing.
No, but that is a really good point. I was just thinking that too. That her dad has no hair, and she doesn't shave her legs. And he's noticing all these.
But she's adopted, right?
Exactly. That's the other weird part. She's adopted.
Maybe their alopecia is.
Well, it's maybe if
it's
I don't know
inherited, it's contagious. That's probably not the case.
Probably not the case. Who knows? But that's an interesting point, though. It's got to probably be associated with her dad in some kind of way. I can agree with that for sure. So so let's get back to the Tony Wonder and Job starting to like each other, starting to get feelings for each other, and repeating everything they say and saying same.
Michael's still under the impression that Job is dating Rebel Allie, so he tails him in his map car, and Job is completely oblivious. Oh, I have to tell Michael that there's another map car.
Yeah. Well,
it's like, it's weird. You don't see many of those.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's
somebody hit him in the head.
that led to the ball fight.
Right.
Yeah, because he's not following him at home
Gene
at night.
Parmesan.
With Gene Parmesan, who I love too, Martin Mull, he's awesome. So so anyway, so these two guys bond and they start to fall in friendship with each other, and Job even saves Tony Wonder's life by when he's choking.
It wasn't that he was choking. He said that it got in my mouth. It almost went down my throat.
I know. I love that.
He just didn't want popcorn.
It's a very Zoolander thing too. I think in a way, it's like I almost ate something.
I almost ate 2 calories.
Exactly. So really good, and of course there were opportunities for Tony Wonder to get George Michael's information to try and steal fake block. And he decided not to. And Job had opportunities to sabotage Tony Wonder, but decided not to, although he still did stuff that mask down his pants.
Yes.
It's because they decided they want to have normal sex on Cinco.
I love
not gay sex.
I love not gay sex. Those have
normal sex.
It's normal sex because we're gay, so that's normal.
Yeah.
Normal sex. So
before we got to any of this, we find out the Dove bar for sure. What happened with it? That Dove parenthesis bar, which is where it came from. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and Rebel Allie was not hooking up with Job.
We see that too. And we'll learn more about that at the end of the show. But what was I going to say? Oh, you know what I love too? I love the fact that drinking a lot of water is apparently a good excuse to not have sex. I drank so much water, I can't really have sex with you right now. So both of them were like,
so full.
I'm so full of water. I'm so full of water, I can't have sex with you.
Cheers to that, guys.
I don't know if that's true. If you guys agree with that, it's fine. That's not going to stop me.
Happens to me all the time.
Unless it's gay sex, then I'm going to be like, yeah, any excuse I can come up with because I just don't go that way. But that's just me.
It's totally a girl thing to do, though. Be like, well, I'm too bloated.
So
bad excuse, Cathy.
Have you actually used that one before, Cathy Kelley?
Wow.
And moving on.
Yeah.
Tony Wonder uses that excuse. And
Cathy wants to change the subject.
You're just repeating what Tony Wonder said.
And so, guys, Anne has a son.
Yeah, well,
Transition.
Tony Wonder.
Let's get off this awkward subject and go to Cinco de Quattro. Yeah, same.
Same.
We got a same.
Samesies.
So Cinco de Quattro. So we get to see Anne Veal again. We would have thought that we wouldn't see her again. Plant. Egg. Bland. So we get to see her, and we get to see her, and we find out that she has a son
with a magician.
We do, which is yes in French.
That's so great. It's kind of a throwback for me to the doctor scenes where the doctor would say something that sounded completely opposite of what actually happened.
Yes.
And then you'd find out that it's
the exact opposite. No, I love that. And
she had revenge sex with Tony Wonder and then ended up getting pregnant and had a little Tony Wonder.
Did we find out the name of the kid? No. I wonder what the name of the kid is.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe that'll come out. Maybe that's a prediction.
It's gonna be Closet.
So even though Job at first is like, oh my God, I have another son, he ends up caring more about the fact that Tony actually isn't gay.
What if it was the kid that punched Michael?
That would have been awesome. It'd be great if that was the kid.
And if Anne was there, but they just didn't see her.
She was like they show a clip in a future episode and they zoom out and she's standing right next to Michael the whole time.
Or she's in the ball pit, literally like standing right there, hiding under the ball.
That would be actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Tony had sex with Anne, and Job is upset with Plant, and Job is pissed. Job is actually pissed off that
not
Tony,
at Anne, at Tony, because he's straight. Dun dun dun.
And Job is straight too. Hello, Job. So
like he just got rejected by somebody that he's not actually interested in.
Yeah. So he brings Anne home to have revenge sex with her, which at first she's all on board, but then she finds out that no, Job doesn't want to have sex with her. Job wants her to have revenge sex with Tony Wonder.
Some secular intercourse.
Which no mask was needed for at any point in time. Like the plan was for Anne to have sex with Tony Wonder. Why is there a mask needed for that?
Well, because Job would have the Tony Wonder mask on, like
right. But if he's actually straight, then he would just have sex with Anne. And if he's not actually straight,
are you trying to make sense of Job's logic?
Yes, okay. I am.
I mean, Job couldn't even figure out where the cameras were in the room. He's like pointing everywhere else but the camera.
Yeah.
And you can't even make sense with that. But yeah, he was trying to frame Tony Wonder by having a videotape that would look like Tony Wonder having sex with a woman, which would prove that he's not gay, and it would ruin his.
He wanted the woman to have a male mask on.
Well, and then take it off. She wanted her. I think what she wanted is them to have sex, and then she takes off the mask to prove that she's a woman.
Yeah.
So like that would really fool him.
Right. But the trick is actually on them. And fools both of them.
I know. Well, first of all, I love that he says it's like a real life straight bait. I love that he brings back straight bait. And you gotta love that Anne actually
fools. She's smarter than both Tony Wonder and Job combined.
Exactly.
Doesn't take too much.
Yeah.
She has Job wearing Tony's mask and Tony wearing Job's mask, because who else would they want to have sex with than someone that looks exactly like them?
Yeah.
Instead of wearing the other masks.
How do they not realize that one of them isn't a woman?
Well, the lights were dark. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying. How did they realize, other than Tony Wonder having
shaved legs,
there are other parts there that would indicate?
What are you talking about?
Well, in past seasons, Job has had sex with some pretty ugly women that look like guys.
Too.
But the point is they don't have penises.
Yes.
Well, how do we know that those women he slept with before? There was a couple.
Kitty?
Well, did he have sex with Kitty?
Her boobs. Yeah, he's had sex with Kitty before.
Okay, I know.
Job had sex with Kitty multiple times. He made her take her glasses on and put them on.
Oh, that's right. Okay. But it was always kind of weird, their relationship.
Yeah.
But
I love that we get a previously on and next on in this, though. That was great.
Well, previous was great because it set up the whole thing and it figured out the biggest mystery. Who was that mystery person who we saw their feet?
And why Michael was so shocked was because it was a dude.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really, really funny. We figured it out, I think, when Tony first said he shaved his own legs toward the beginning of the episode.
And then that he had nail polish.
Yeah, and they had because he doesn't use an assistant for his Saw Lady half trick because he doesn't trust anybody.
Screw you over.
Exactly. So we kind of figured that out. What I thought was brilliant is that whole story about the about the mask and everything. Yeah. We were totally oblivious way back in episode 1 when he was saying that, because that story sounded so weird. It didn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense after seeing this episode.
Yeah.
Which I love that. And what else was there?
So then Joe puts the forget-me-now in Michael's...
He was being generous, and instead of taking half the forget-me-now, he gives it to Michael. It all to Michael.
Yeah, he gives it all to Michael.
And so Michael doesn't remember having sex with Lucille too for money, so he does it again.
And then, of course, we see the very end with
dun.
George Michael and Rebel Ally.
So George Michael is dating and sleeping with Rebel Ally. Yeah. So, which is a major shocker. Right? We say a major shocker.
But she has no idea because he's going as George Maharis.
Yeah, which we don't understand what that is as of yet. The only thing I could think of is I know he hates his name, so I guess he just changed it. That was his way of changing his name because he didn't like
George Michael.
And then when Michael said, "Oh, let's just call you Boy George because you're a younger George," he didn't like that either because they both were pop stars who got caught
British
having gay sex, gay sex in the bathrooms.
I love how
yeah, which ties into this episode in some weird way.
Ron Howard said a couple episodes ago that he approves of the other guy that Rebel Ally is dating, which is George Michael, we assume, unless that's a random hookup.
The creator of Fake Block.
He approves of George Michael, and he also wants Michael's son to be the main part of the movie.
Yeah, that's
How is
really
that going to?
But that's really interesting that
He hasn't
Ron
connected
Howard,
the dots there.
Yeah, he hasn't connected. He wanted the signature for George Michael so he can do the rights.
He knows the story. He hasn't seen George Michael's face.
And he knows George Michael as George
Maharis.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He knows him as George Maharis. That's interesting.
And he doesn't really remember people.
It's really crazy. It's really crazy how everything is tying together. So, and I love it, of course. And this is a major shocker.
And it's a throwback to when Michael ended up dating his teacher, George Michael's teacher, who he had a crush on for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Karma's a bitch.
Karma's a bitch. It's crazy. So, yeah. So, again, really crazy stuff. And, of course, I think one of the reasons why no one expected this, too, is because everyone just assumes George Michael's still pining over Maybe.
Right.
So we totally missed that whole thing because of those two.
Just broke my heart.
I know.
Well, we have to see what happens. I'm sure there's still more to that.
Perhaps they will get back together.
Perhaps they'll get back together.
Anyway, it's gross that we want that, but yeah, keep going.
Let's
They're
move
not
on.
actually cousins.
Yes. Let's move on to prediction.
And now,
okay, so I got one.
So you never let these things play out.
I know because I never do.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Waste time.
Yeah, waste time. Anyway, so when we hear, fine, I'll
One
just
more
stop
time.
now. So when we hear on the phone, Steve Holt's on the phone, and they're talking about whether they should go to the gay club or not, and Steve Holt's sad, and it's his birthday, and he seems very hesitant. And I think that Steve Holt is gay, and I think he was such a little macho man in high school because he was trying to prove something, and now I think he's gay, and I think that he's going to come out to Job, and Job is going to be much more understanding because now he's seen more of a gay lifestyle.
Now he's leading a gay lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right, and he's going to be like, I can relate to you. Even though I don't think Job is gay, they're going to have this connection on a different level and be all fine and good now.
No, I think that's a good one. I like that idea that Steve Holt might be gay.
Yeah.
So.
Steve Holt.
I would say since in the first several episodes we saw a lot of the same scenes, and we would see it from one person's perspective, and then we would see it again from another person's perspective who we didn't know was there. I think a lot of the scenes that we see in this episode and the episode previous, we're going to see a lot more people, like potentially Anne, you know, in the background of other scenes, or someone else at the gay bar. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that one too. Do you have one?
I don't have a prediction. I just want to see a George Michael episode now.
Yeah.
Well, I do too. I have one quick prediction. It's kind of building on yours, that when Tony Wonder starts giving away his whole plan to Anne about Fake Block and about everything, I really think that Anne is going to take his plan and she's going to end up being like, she's going to end up having the last laugh, not just in this episode, but like she's going to overall, she's going to take all that information, and I think she's going to be a major, as much as we love ignoring her.
She's probably the one that
she's probably the last person that Tony Wonder should have given his plans to, because she's probably the most competent one who could probably make something happen.
That's a good guess.
Sally?
No, Anne Veal. When right before she convinces him to go up. Plants.
That was a real life confusion.
Yeah, it's real life confusing. So, yes, Alina, where can we find you if we want to find you?
On Twitter @_Alina23.
Okay. And Cathy, how about you? Where
You can find me on Twitter @Kelley.
At Roxy Striar.
And I can be found at Nando Vel. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll be doing 2 more episodes next week. And till then, we'll catch you later.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.